Hi guys, it's me Karen. Welcome back to my channel. What I'm going to do today for you guys is try out these tools here. These are replacement sponges just like these, and these are the tools. They're from scrapbook.com. They are almost the same as the Tim Holtz inking tool. They have a foam just like this one does. This one is got an edge around it. These are domed. So I'm going to open this up and show you what it looks like. Hopefully this doesn't make too much noise here. There we go. Okay. So these tools, they are still Velcroed. This is okay, here we go. Both of them. I just set that one aside there. So we have the Tim Holtz. The knobs are about the same. The tool here to here, this one looks a little wider. They're both wood. One painted black, one painted gray. I mean, if that makes any difference. This is a little thinner. This is just a little thicker, if you can see that. I don't know if that'll make much difference for you. They're, like I said, they're both Velcro. So when you take this off, you're going to see the Velcro loops on this side. This one is stapled in. I'm believing this one is only glued in. Okay, now the pads, like I said, one is flat. This has been well loved, so if it looks a little odd, they're usually flatter and they don't stick out like that. But so they're got an edge on this one and it's flat. This one is domed. This one is a soft, squishy little guy you can wash and squeeze it out. This one has some kind of thickness down here on the bottom. So it's obviously not going to do this. Not unless you break whatever that is. I don't know what it is yet. Goes on tightly. It's just a Velcro system, just like this one. Goes on. They're stuck. They're not going anywhere. I have one thing of ink here, and I'm going to ink it up because this one is already inked, and I don't have any blank ones of these, but I do have a ton of blank ones of these, so we're going to see how this works. It doesn't feel as soft as this either. Maybe because it doesn't have any ink or whatever on it. I brought out a brush that I also use so we can just test all of those out on that. We're going to use that ink. And I'm going to do a card base. So this is cut to 4x6 or 4.5 by 6. This little piece here is a Tim Holtz inking pad. It comes in a big sheet and you put it on your desk so when you're inking you don't get ink on your desk. So I cut it down to a little piece because I'm just going to be doing a little section here. And what I'm going to do first is use a little Versamark ink and a stamp set. So I have a selection of snowflakes. This here, you're not going to see this unless I move it, is the stamp set. So I'm going to use this big stamp here, which really doesn't fit on a block that I own, so I just kind of squish it down, and that's this one here. And then we have this snowflake on here also. And then on this block I have this snowflake, that snowflake, then another snowflake, a little one. I don't know where it is, but this little guy here. So I have 3. This stamp set is Stupendous, and I'll leave a link down below to it. I like the little clear ones. We're going to just use the Versamark ink because I'm going to emboss. This is embossing powder in opaque white detail from Stupendous. So it's just white. It'll be nice. I got it at Ben Franklin for that price there, $5.99. I don't believe Ben Franklin had a coupon at that time, so I probably just spent that because I needed to get Christmas cards going. Okay, so we're just going to take this ink, make sure our stamps are down, and it's clear. It's just like well, it's an embossing ink, so it's kind of like a thin glue almost. That stamp's not sticking terribly well. You're not even going to see this when it goes down on the paper. So we want to just kind of, get it on the edge there and squish it down. And if we have a little bit there, we'll get that up. Then we'll take the other one and ink it. And if you pick up the card, you can kind of see where the other one went, and we just want to put one over on this side. There we go. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is put the embossing ink on it. This is a piece of copy paper. Come here, you. Don't want to smear it around. And we're going to just throw this powder all over the place. It'll stick to the Versa Mark ink on here. Just kind of run it around, tap it around. Make sure it gets all over everybody. And then just tap it off. And if you see any lines you don't like, you can just scrape those off with your fingernail or a paintbrush. I don't have a paintbrush here, so that won't do. Now I have to go emboss this. I have to do that in another room because I don't have any plugs out here. So I will be right back. Okay, we're back. And I ran my heat tool over it, and you'll see the shiny little white snowflakes hopefully here on the white card. Not very impressive right now, but it will be in a few seconds. For the extra embossing powder, I just fold up the paper and put it back in. I try not to get this all over my room, but it tends to get all over anywhere. It's very, very fine dust. Okay, there we go. So inking, move our stamps. Those all have to be washed. Make sure there's no grime on any of these. Okay, so we're going to take the paper, we're going to take the ink, Distress ink, and I'm going to go ahead and go in with the Tim Holtz tool first, because we all know how I use that. And I'm just going to start in the corner here, and we're going to add some ink. So that's how that one works. Get a nice little coverage on it. Now we're going to ink up the domed one. It's just going to be interesting. So it won't ink up the corners, so you won't be able to like draw with it like I do. So there we've got the ink. We're going to go on this corner over here, because I put it over there, and we'll see how this works. Okay, I put a little more ink on it because I was loading it, so it's going to be darker. It goes on pretty smoothly. I don't know, there you guys can look at it. I can use this really smoothly. I've been using it for like 8 years, so this particular tool. It blended nicely. This one, it's darker, number one, because I just loaded it, but I do see some like roundness from it. I don't know how much ink you're really going to have to put on this. So we just go out. It's not as even, which is okay. Make a great sky. Let's try the other side over here. So it's up to you what you like. I kind of like that effect, but if you're looking for a solid color, that's not going to work very well for you. I only really have to do half of this as a background for what I'm doing. Because it is a new ink pad, you will have to load it a lot more than you do with a pad that has got ink on it. Okay, then of course we used this before too, and I'll just show you how you use that. We just rub it on the ink pad. It's going to be a light effect. So you just put it on real lightly down here. You'll have to put this on a few coats if you want to get it dark as the top up here. It's just that really soft bristles on here. So if you want a nice pastel colored background, that would be wonderful. Okay, so far that's what we have. I want to darken this area here. Maybe throw a little dark in there. And I always like darkening the edges. So, boom. Wash your hands after doing that because you are going to get inky. But that is this side with this tool. It works pretty well. I don't think you're going to get your, like if you were doing this and you push really hard and you get those little edges, you just kind of blend them out by putting more ink on there. This one, if you push down on it, this to me is a harder tool. It doesn't smoothly go across the paper. Like, that's the sound you get here. Here it's a squeakier, but it could be that the pad isn't covered up with enough ink. I don't know. I have to play with these a little more before I know what it's going to do. But if you're just putting on a soft lace, it kind of sticks to the paper. This one just glides on the paper. Anyway, thought I'd try this one out, show you guys what it does, because it's round and some people were complaining that this one gave those little sharp edges. Ink it up more if you're getting sharp edges. Put a lot of ink on there. I never wash these, I just leave them with ink in them, so they always have ink. And try it with a light touch. If you get those edges that you don't like, add a little more ink and just go over that area a few times and you can blend that out. It's up to you. You guys can have a new tool if you like this one. Like I said, I'll play with it some more and see how it works. But this is a base for a, obviously, Christmas card here because we put snowflakes all over it. And I have to wash my hands before I'm going to put a piece of white paper across here, and I have blue ink all over, so hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. We can move this out of the way. So we have our blue piece here. I have this die that I cut out. This is it, Creative Expression, Let It Snow. I'm trying to read all the stuff here. I got this also from scrapbook.com. It's a pretty big die. And it cuts this out here, which says Let It Snow. Now, I was planning on putting it on the snow background, but I kind of think, unless I lift it up with some dimensional tape, which you can do, and that would look pretty, you could just do it on a blue background also, and it kind of stands out a little more. Now, if you inked this, let's see if I can find my water. I thought I put it here. I don't know what I did with it. Water, where'd you go? You can splatter water on here and get a nice effect. Now, hold on a second. Okay, little water, and just splatter it up there and pull some of that ink off. And then you get this, I still got some water on there. Let's dry that up. The little splattered effect here, kind of remnants of a snowflake. And that would look pretty too, with that on there. You could also cut out some little snowflakes and put them up there if you want. So that gives you two options for this die and a background. Either one would look really pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and put it together. Maybe I'll do one of each. This is just cardstock, 110 cardstock. So is this cut out. And then I will just glue them on, either one this way, one that way. And put them on a card base, which is just the same 110 cardstock, folded in half and cut to the size to leave a tiny little border around these pieces. So I'll get those put together and I will show you at the end. Okay. What you see in front of you is the cutter I use to make the card base. So this is just a regular piece of cardstock 110. We're going to make this into this little card base here. Now there's a couple of tricks. One, you have to get a measurement. I know my card piece here, I made one for the spotted background, is 4.5 this way and 6 this way. So I want to have a little white border around the card, and that's what that is. So I add a half inch, no, a 1/4 inch. So you'll have an 1/8 of an inch on both sides on the measurement of the card. So we're going to make this 6.5 here. I guess that's 6, 6 1/4, 6.5. So it is 6.5, 1/4 inch border on each side. And then we just cut it down. And then we measure it going the lengthwise, and that will be, because the card is going to be folded in half and has to be the right width for the card, going to be 9 and I don't know if you can see this mark down here. It's right there. That's where I have it marked, where I always make the cards. Or you can do it the other way of folding it first and cutting it with the card on top, but I'm just going to cut it there. And then we're going to take this, line up those corners, and just kind of put a crease over here. So there's a little divot. I'm going to move the blade for cutting way up in there, and then there's a little track right in here. And we're going to put that right on that track, and we're going to put the cutting plate down. And we're going to use what we call a bone folder. I don't know why it's called. They were probably made out of bone at one time. Mine is plastic. And you're going to set it in this groove. And you're just going to drag it down. And what that does is give us a score line. I don't know if you can see that. But it's a score line to where the paper is going to be folded. So you just take it and fold it across that fold line, making sure your corners down here hit, because it will come a little off skew. Take your bone folder here, make sure that you're even, little fiddly part, and then go out and out. Gives you a nice crisp fold on your card. And then you can open it this way. You can also make cards that way. Anyway, I wanted to show you that. This is a Fiskars cutting paper cutter is what it's called. And this one comes with an extension, and it's the larger one that goes 7 inches across. And then when you have the pull out, you can get your paper to cut up to like 16 inches, 15 inches. Oh gosh, so sorry. Anyway, that is what that is. Put that on the floor. So I have 2 card bases. One for this card and one for this card. Okay, and I did another cutout here. Didn't get all the little pieces out of there. Yeah, that takes a little time too. A little dot there, and a little snowflake here, and a little leg here. And where would the dot go? Here, and the T. You want to get all those out before you do your card, because you can't take them out after you do it. Okay, so we'll have one that looks like that and one that looks like this. Okay. This is one of the things about moving your desk apart, that you can't find certain things that you had in your other desk. This is a advanced tape glider. That's what it says. It's from Scotch. It has tape that runs around these little spools, and it's just easy to run across your project here instead of using glue. You can use glue. I just thought it would be easy for me to do this for this one. Got it all sticky. Then we're just going to take this one, and this die just lines up on the bottom. Or you could leave a blue line on it if you want. It's up to you. Kind of like that idea. If you can get it straight and put it down. Now if you want, you can run a little piece of glue under here. Right now I'm just going to glue, tape the base down to the card. You want it stuck down pretty good. This, once it's down, does not come up, so that you want to be careful about. And we're putting a little border around here, so we kind of want to make sure that the border looks the same on all sides. Lay it down. Now you can dress this card up if you want with some sequins. Throw them around and get those glued down. So I'll glue some on this card, and that'll look really cute. Okay, and then this one is done the same way. We're just going to take it, put the tape down, make sure we're opening on the right side. Get that down. And because I want to raise this and I can't find my tape that I usually use, it's a thick tape, I'm gonna improvise and use a piece of cardstock. It's the same that was cut out of there, And I'm just going to cut some pieces, and we're going to go make little piles of 4. And we're going to just tape these together. Run a little tape on them. I don't exactly know where the camera is up here. And then put one just on top of the other one. Put it on that side. Put this one on. And we'll do the same thing with this guy. And make sure that they're 4 high. They don't have to be gorgeous because they're going to be hidden behind the card back here. So I'm going to want one about here, one over on this side, and one over on this side. So we can put the long one over here. And then the short one over here. Stop wiggling, guys. Boom. And this guy over here somewhere. Okay. And what that's going to do for us is when we lay it down on the card, it will push it up a little bit. So I think I need to make some really tiny ones up here. So we'll make those really skinny, and I will have to glue these down. I don't know if I have glue sitting here. Yeah, I do. Okay, this is clear Tombow Mono glue. It's got a very fine tip on it. And I'm just going to run that down here and glue these little ones together. And we have to go up 4 high, so this dries pretty quick. And last one. Boom. So cut this in half. And we'll put one on. Okay guys, sorry about that. The camera didn't record the rest of this. So I just put the double pieces underneath the I here and the L in this corner down here and here. And you glued those pieces to the base of the card. So I'm sorry you didn't see that part. But there we have our 2 cards done with the Distress ink and using both of these tools. You'll notice that these inks look even different on the foam on these guys. This one's a little more blue. It could be I've, used this one with green on it too. Who knows? I tend to blend them all. So that is those 2 tools. And if you want a lighter effect, I would recommend this one here. I really like these only probably because I, been working with them for so long, and once you get to the point of working with something for over 5 years, you really, get to know them really well. So I'll probably be sticking with these, but I will try these out every now and then. These are thicker on the handles. The sponge is stiffer, and it kind of jumps on the page a little. I have not tried these in a coloring book though, so I will be doing that in another video. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in another video. You guys take care. Bye now.